Don't mind if I start this interview off with the song Kiss Me.
Welcome to WatchMojo's Poppin The Culture, your weekly entertainment check-in. Me? Well, I'm your host, Mr. Hollywood himself, Matt Demers. So much fun coming your way. I'll be sharing interviews with Netflix's new movie, He's All That. That's right. But first, let's check out those Hollywood headlines. All right, this is the part of the show where we like to sift through some of those entertainment headlines and give some extra takes. And here to help me break it all down, she's back. That's right. From MsMojo, Phoebe is here. Hey, Phoebe, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. So excited to have you back. I know you're going to bring the fun. Speaking of fun, am I spying bunnies in the background?
Yes. I have two bunnies. I have a male and a female. Their names are Pippa and Mr. Floof.
Listen, if WatchMojo ever decides to do top 10 names for bunny rabbits, that would top the list.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, now I want you to help me break down some stuff today, and I don't know if you're a fan or if you were a fan of an actor by the name of Johnny Depp. That's right, Johnny Depp. He can't stay out of the headlines. He's pretty much the new Charlie Sheen. There's a lot going on with this guy. I want you to help me break it down and give me your thoughts on it. But first, let's go through some of the cliff notes because there's a lot. So basically what's happened is he's suing his ex-wife. So if you've been following the news with this guy, him and Amber Heard had a pretty high-profile relationship that went sour. He's suing her for $50 million over a 2018 Washington Post op-ed where she kind of wrote about being the survivor of domestic abuse. She didn't actually name Johnny, but that was the implication. And he's been given the go-ahead to, pretty much go ahead with this lawsuit. She was trying to block it. So this is kind of a victory on his end. But at the same time, he's also put out in interviews that he feels like he's being boycotted by Hollywood. He's got some new movie that's only opening not in America or North America for that matter, but in Europe. I don't know. Phoebe, is the damage done for old Johnny Depp?
Yeah, I think it's a really complicated situation because, like you probably already know, a lot of what we see on screen and in the media in general is now dictated by the court of public opinion. I don't want to call it quote unquote cancel culture because I feel like that's an overly simplified, analysis of a very complicated situation. Whenever something involves, domestic violence, it's not really, there's a lot of things to be considered. And so it's a lot more serious than that. Obviously, Johnny Depp is a legend in Hollywood. My favorite movie of his has to be like Edward Scissorhands, I would say. But yeah, I don't really know what the future holds for him in his career. I think that this mess is it's a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. And Amber Heard's, Johnny Depp's got a huge fan base. As you mentioned, he's got a legendary career. His filmography, just go on IMDb or type it in your Google machine and you will see list after list after list of great movies. Edward Scissorhands right up there is one of my top favorites as well. So he's got a huge fan base that's kind of sticking with him, and they're throwing hate at Amber Heard. They tried to get her booted from the new Aquaman film, but Warner Brothers is saying, no, that's not happening. It's interesting whether or not there will be a path to, back to greatness, if you will, because as an actor, and that's what's conflicting in these situations, is that, you know what, you really like his performances and you like these movies, but then you look at the headlines and these things that are being said about him and you're like, can I still watch a Johnny Depp movie now?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like one of those things where you can either, separate the artist from the art or not. I guess for most people, it's a more complicated and nuanced situation than that. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky, and especially with someone as high profile as Johnny Depp. And I'm interested to know what you guys out there think, whether or not you are fans or are fans and you're rooting for him, or if you're, want him to get his, type it in the comments. Let's move on, though, because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we are approaching the end of summer. Yeah. It's almost over, folks. Get out the cardigans, get out the hoodies. Fall is on its way. So what better time to look at some of the winners and losers over this past couple months in entertainment. Now, Phoebe, I asked you to kind of tackle the movie winners and losers. I've done some TV winners and losers. Why don't you start it off? Because this is kind of a big couple months for movies. Some of them got back on the big screen. Some of them didn't. Who do you think got tops?
So for me, I think my personal favorite movie of the summer, and this is just, based on my own personal opinion, Luca, the Pixar movie that came out earlier in the summer in June. That was just fantastic. I feel like Pixar never really misses. I feel like there's always something really good in those stories. They always have a great message. The animation was just unbelievably good, as it always is with Pixar movies. So for me, that was the best film of the summer.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it is on Disney Plus. I don't even think that made it to theaters, not initially, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know that. I think it was one of those things where it was probably simultaneously like a limited theatrical release and then additionally on Disney Plus. I watched it at home, and I had the best time watching it.
Are you in favor of that $30, like the what do they call it, a premium access or whatever it is, price point? Because I've heard some people say that's way too much. But I think if you factor in, well, you got to drive to the theater, you got to pay for the food. Maybe if you're more than one person buying that ticket, I don't know. Is it too much?
I think that maybe Scarlett Johansson would say it's not enough. $30 is really steep. Like you said, if you're factoring and, you're two people watching it, you're in the comfort of your own home, you're actually probably saving money. I forked out the money for this movie and also for Mulan. Those were the only two that I was like, okay, I'll pay for them to watch them. But yeah, it's a lot.
Phoebe likes her Disney, guys. Don't mess with her Disney. Okay, I'll throw out. Actually, no, I have a loser, a movie loser. But let's hear yours. Who do you think? What movie tanked?
So yeah, like this is kind of like a different perspective of mine because I absolutely refuse to see this movie. So it's not necessarily my own opinion of the movie, but Space Jam, the new Space Jam. There's sorry.
No.
No.
Did you see the original?
Of course, I love that movie. I absolutely adore that movie. I think it's such a weird concept and it's so strange, but it works so well. I think it was one of those things where, rebooting a beloved movie is just unnecessary. It only has 26% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and I just heard a lot of people dunking on it this summer, so loser for me.
Yeah, I also, when I put my movie review cap on, I can't help but agree that movie was not the greatest. Nostalgia, hey, people love their nostalgia, and I just feel like honestly, this was almost a Warner Brothers ad campaign. They shoehorned every Warner Brothers property ever into this movie. So I was like, am I watching a corporate video or
like Ready Player One, but for Space Jam?
Exactly. And less subtle about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Suicide Squad, I'm putting in the loser column. It's
really?
not. It's not. Hey, critically great. I loved it. Don't come at me. Financially, commercially, not doing so good. And I know people are going to say, well, it's an R-rated movie. Those don't make as much. But I mean, come on, look at the other R-rated movies. Your Deadpools, your Jokers that, break records, all that stuff. So to me, this feels like they can't. DC sometimes can't get a break. You feel like they're on a roll, and then it's two steps back. So, yeah, I think. And if you look at the box office, and I know it's on HBO Max, where you can watch it there. But if you look at the numbers of people going in the big screen to watch it, it's falling really, really fast. It's jumping off a cliff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that has to do with like superhero fatigue. I feel like we just finished this. Obviously with Black Widow and stuff, but I wonder if that plays into it at all, like the superhero fatigue.
No, I'm not fatigued.
No? Okay, fine.
I'm a superhero guy. I bring it. You know what I do like?
Got it.
I like when they do different things with the superhero genre, and then I'm all in. Which actually, hey, that's a great segue for my stuff because I'm doing the TV winners and losers, and come on, the winners of the summer on your small screen has to be a Marvel. And I know WandaVision was before the summer, but Loki, that was appointment TV. It was great. the stuff they did there, and like I said, they did something different that drew me, and it wasn't the same old, same old. And now they're doing this animated show, What If, which is actually interesting as well. It's a different take. It's animation. I don't know if it's getting as many people glued in as some of the live action stuff. But are you into these Marvel shows?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think like Disney Plus has kind of, cornered the market. They can just kind of do whatever they want. I was a huge fan of WandaVision, which admittedly was not the summer, but the production quality of these shows is unbelievable. And I think that's what keeps bringing viewers back, is that you're getting the same cinematic quality from television on Disney Plus. Like, it's just a win all around.
Yeah, although Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a bit of a mixed bag. Don't at me. Wasn't as high caliber as Loki or WandaVision. Okay, who else did I say? Oh, there's a new show. Well, I don't want to say new. The second season is new, and it's just out now, and people love this show, and it came out last year, and it won all kinds of awards, and so much buzz going on for Ted Lasso. Have you seen this show?
I actually haven't seen it, which it's such a crime, because I feel like this kind of comedy is right up my alley, and I really like Jason Sudeikis. So I'm going to check it out. I can't stop hearing people talk about it, though.
No, you need to watch it. And for anyone that's watching or listening, definitely check this out. It's on Apple TV Plus. And yeah, it just warms your soul in a world full of anti-heroes and just crummy characters. This guy will make your heart smile. So do check that out. Okay, so those are some of my winners. And then reality TV, there's so much of them. I admittedly don't watch a lot. I watch Big Brother, which I don't know if anyone out there watches it, but it's still going strong. But there is all kinds of, Too Hot to Handle, Love Island and stuff. And those ratings are always through the roof. So I guess I'll throw them in as winners. Are you
The Bachelorette. The Bachelorette just finished.
No.
I'm a
Do you
huge...
watch?
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you?
No.
Why not? It's so good. I used to be the kind of person that was like, oh, that's just trashy reality TV. And I watched one episode and I was like, no, these people, they know what's going on. This is a good show.
Okay. Hey, listen, guilty pleasure, no judgment. All right, here, let's do the losers, the TV losers. And this is a big one. And I really want your opinion on this.
Okay.
And it might surprise people that this is the TV loser of the summer. Jeopardy. Jeopardy. What is going on over there? Listen, what is a fiasco, a mess, a complete bombardment of bad PR with picking the new host. Because obviously we lost Alex Trebek. We had a parade of guest hosts come in, and there was all kinds of behind-the-scenes rumblings about who was going to take over. And I don't know if you're following the latest, but it's just so bad PR here. They had the executive producer, Mike Richards, come in, announced as the new host. One of the two, actually. And now all this stuff from his past has come out. I think he's put out a total now of 3 apologies. He stepped back, whether it's his choice or not. So he won't actually be the new host. But he's already taped like a week's worth of shows. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Jeopardy could be in jeopardy here. Phoebe, are you following this?
Yes, I am. I am a big Jeopardy fan. When Alex Trebek died, it was like, a punch to the gut. So horrible. I miss him so much. Yeah. I think that tarnishing the Jeopardy reputation, it's not worth it to have this guy who's already such a lightning rod for controversy, so that he can fulfill his dream of being the host of Jeopardy. I saw someone say that on Twitter, and I thought that was so poignant and interesting. I think that, LeVar Burton is the only... Yeah. I'm sorry. He's the only real choice, you know?
Let's say it. Let's do it. I mean, the fans have spoken. If you go online, any kind of chat room, any kind of Twitter thread about who should host, LeVar Burton's name is trumpeted through and through. And even, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself, has come out in favor of LeVar Burton. So, yeah, I mean, but does this tarnish Jeopardy's reputation?
If they had, stuck by him and just, allowed him to continue on in his hosting duties despite the public outcry. But I also find it quite interesting that, they pick and choose which public outcry they respond to. So there was a public outcry for LeVar Burton to be the host of Jeopardy, and they didn't listen. They put this guy, and then when people complained about him, they took him off. And it's like, are you listening to the fans? Are you not listening to the fans? What is it here?
They're not listening. Hey, listen, I'm in favor of LeVar taking on this as a new host. I mean, Alex Trebek in Canada is so great. We love him. So I was kind of hoping maybe it would be a new Canadian host. I was hoping you or Rebecca might be in the running. Did your phone
Oh my
ring?
God. No, they never called me. They have my number, but they never called me. No, I think Rebecca, because Rebecca is like the biggest Jeopardy fan I know. And so, they should call her. They really need to get on that.
Yeah, I was hoping. Fingers crossed. Maybe it'll still happen. But, I don't think any decisions have been made. All right, Phoebe, we want to know what everyone else out there thinks about all the controversies to do with Jeopardy. What are some of the shows that you would say are big hits this summer and misses, and do the same for movies? Drop it in the comments. All right, don't go anywhere. Me and you are going to go beyond the list. All right, Phoebe, so here's what I've done as I've taken a deep dive in that vast archives of the top 10 lists of WatchMojo. And I plucked one out for me and you to discuss. We're going to go beyond that list, give some added opinions. I want your personal opinions. Be honest. And I will do the same. Today, we're talking about the top 10 best movie soundtracks. I'm a movie guy. You probably know this from watching the show. I watch all the movies, and I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I'll say it till the day I die. Music makes an impeccable difference. It can make a bad movie great. It can make a good movie great. And it can make a great movie even better. So today we're looking at the top 10. Now, keep in mind, and we'll get at the end, you can add some because this list came out, I believe it was 5 years ago. Okay, you can actually watch it by clicking on the top of your screen. But yeah, so if your favorites aren't there, that's recent. Me and Phoebe might have something to say about it. Are you with me on this, that music makes a huge difference in a movie?
Yeah, 100%, 100,000%. I feel like where it's most evident is in like horror movies, where the soundtrack can literally send like shivers down your spine. Without it, it wouldn't be as scary. It makes a huge difference.
You're right about that. Okay, now I do have to highlight as well before we get into the list that we're not doing musicals, right? So you're not going to find Grease on this list, or I don't know, The Sound of Music, those other ones. So that's another list that I'm sure is out there because WatchMojo's thought of everything. All right, so let's do this. Number 10 on this list, and hey, I'm going to agree with this. It's a comedy. It came out in 1998. It's a little movie called The Wedding Singer.
Oh my God. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. My favorite Adam Sandler movie. The soundtrack to this movie is so unbelievably good. Everything about this movie is perfect. I love this movie.
Yeah, no, it has a great soundtrack. This is the movie where Billy Idol's on the airplane, and yeah. No, it's great. It's all taking place in the 80s, and they nail it.
Absolutely nail it.
Yeah, okay. Number 9, I'm not sure about. And maybe I need to rewatch it, but it's never a good sign that the music didn't leave that big of an impression on me, and that's Drive. It's the other Ryan Gosling who's in this one. Do you remember this? He wears like the scorpion jacket, and
the Kavinsky song. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Night something. That movie has like a lot of like cool electronic music in it.
Yeah.
That's the song that's like popping out to me. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's by the artist Kavinsky. But it's got a good soundtrack for sure.
Yeah, and I think this type of movie, there's not a whole heck of a lot of dialogue, right? So you need that music in the background to set the tone. And you're right. Yeah. I do want to do a rewatch. Not coming down on it too hard here. All right, number 8, I can't disagree with Purple Rain, 1984.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Prince, music.
Yeah, and hey, listen, this album, it's in the video. They talk about, I think it's 31 million copies sold just for the soundtrack. He does the song with the doves. What is it? If doves cry?
When doves cry.
When doves cry. Yeah, it's got all the hits, folks. Purple Rain, of course. So yeah, there's no surprise that this is on the list. Number 8, maybe a little low. Let's see. Oh, come on. This next one should be way higher, in my opinion. We talked about how much I love my superhero movies. So, Guardians of the Galaxy. Phoebe, come on.
Yeah, no, seriously, this is definitely one of the best soundtracks. The only soundtrack I would say would rival this one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You got Fleetwood Mac in there. You got Cat Stevens in there. Like, it's just, that's the kind of playlist that you can listen to on repeat and not get dogged on for listening to a movie soundtrack on your way to work.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And as we'll see a lot of the other entries, is it comes down to the director who really is really known for putting music in his movies. And this one, of course, James Gunn. I mentioned the Suicide Squad earlier. It's got a great soundtrack. But yeah, I actually look forward to the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but maybe the soundtrack, maybe a little bit more, because the music is so great. It's so great. And I don't know, does Marvel have any other like rockin' soundtracks? I know Iron Man does a lot with AC/DC.
I think Immigrant Song in Thor Ragnarok is, I mean, it's just one song, but it's really a pivotal moment in the movie, and it's kind of become like the theme song for that movie.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Wait, Immigrant Song is Led Zeppelin, right?
I believe it is.
Okay, I always mix it up. Yeah.
The internet will correct you. Do not worry.
Cut this out.
No, leave it in. Leave it in. All right, we're almost at the halfway point, and we get to number 6, and people might be scratching their head at this, but I'm going to definitely agree. It's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It came out in 2000. This is a movie that stars George Clooney. This walked away with the Grammy Award for Best Album, a movie soundtrack getting the Best Album. Do you remember this movie and the music?
So actually, I was pretty young when this movie came out, and my dad bought the soundtrack, and we used to listen to it like all the time. Like, it was on repeat in our house. So yeah, I do remember it, and I have fond memories of this soundtrack, actually.
Yeah, it's like, what is it? Like bluegrass?
Yeah.
Actually, there's a bit of genre mixes here, but yeah, it's really great. I wonder, I don't know, I'll have to do some research and see if Clooney actually sang in it.
I don't know about that.
My guess is he didn't. No, they have a close-up of him, distinctly remember singing, but I don't think it's his voice. All right, halfway point, Almost Famous. This is a Cameron Crowe movie, and we talked about directors who love their music. Cameron Crowe is one of those guys for me that any movie he does, whether it's Jerry Maguire, Elizabethtown, especially Elizabethtown, that's a music-heavy movie, but Almost Famous, I mean, come on.
Tiny Dancer, Elton John.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
And not only that, but there's some original music that he's, because it's all about a rock band. And there's some original music that's put in here that I think is actually really great as well. So Almost Famous. All right, we're past the halfway point, so these should be spectacular. Number 4 is Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino, maybe the director that thinks about music the most. Like, I've seen him do interviews or write essays about music, and any movie that he has a song, he's thought about it, rethought about it, researched it. Like, there's so much that goes into this guy's music.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, like, just the fact that I can't even really separate the movie from the music in my mind, it's just kind of all melded together, means that it's executed perfectly. So, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking of, what's the one with the Reservoir Dogs, right? Where he's chopping off the ear.
Yeah, even the Hateful Eight, it was I don't remember who it was, but they put out a vinyl of that movie soundtrack, and it's just phenomenal. Not my favorite movie, but a phenomenal soundtrack.
Yeah, that's the thing about Tarantino. Even if the movie's not amazing, you know that the music will be in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Definitely. I have the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack, and that's really great too. And he's even got these old kind of 60s commercials, radio commercials. It's really wonderful stuff. All right, we're going to number 3 here. This might surprise people. 1967, The Graduate. A lot of interesting songs in there.
Simon and Garfunkel, baby. Mrs. Robinson.
And not just that one. There's a lot of Simon and Garfunkel in this one.
I love Simon and Garfunkel, so yeah, I completely agree with this.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch.
Rewatch.
Okay.
Listen to some Simon and Garfunkel. Get your heart right.
Okay. Well, number 2 will get your heart right. It's Forrest Gump, 1994. This is a movie that crosses so many decades, so much time periods, and they touch on all the music along the way. So if you get that soundtrack, you'll hear everything from, like, Elvis Presley onwards. It's so great.
Yeah, this is another one of those soundtracks that I listen to constantly. I think you got it, like, you got CCR in there, you got Stoned Love, which is like one of my favorite songs of all time, like in an underrated moment in the movie. And even like the score is so recognizable, like just with the feather falling. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with that one as number 2, which brings us to the best movie soundtrack of all time. Oh, it's Saturday Night Fever. Staying Alive. Do you agree with this?
I thought you were joking.
No, Saturday Night Fever. That's not an honorable mention. That's number 1, 1977.
Okay.
Apparently
yeah.
she doesn't agree with it.
No, it's just surprising. It's just surprising. You followed it up with Forrest Gump. The Bee Gees. Yeah. So yeah, it's very good. Very good.
It is good. I don't know if it deserves number 1, but yeah, I get it. Okay, so like I mentioned, this list is from a couple years ago. Any recent ones, or any that you think didn't make the list that should be on there?
We probably criteria'd animated movies from this list. But if I had to add one, and it's a criminal that it's not represented on this list, is the Tarzan soundtrack. I mean,
oh yeah, okay,
Phil Collins.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's one of my favorites too. So, but I assume that we had criteria'd animated movies, and that's why that's not on this list.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm going to throw out a very recent one. Well, it's not very recent now, but a couple of years back. A little movie called Baby Driver.
Oh my God, yes, T-Rex. So good.
I have that. I have the vinyl, and I listen to it almost daily. I love that movie. And when you watch the movie, it's so great here. They've choreographed a lot of those car chase scenes to the music itself, which is phenomenal. So I would throw that in there. And where's Rocky?
Yeah.
I dare you. I dare you to listen to that soundtrack and not get excited to go in a boxing ring, even if you don't box like me. They'll get you hyped up. I would throw those 2 out there. I want to mention the honorable mentions too. I forgot to do that beforehand. Garden State.
The Shins. That is a good soundtrack, actually. I love the Shins.
500 Days of Summer. I remember the music in there. That's not bad. Boyhood. That was. I don't know if that really stood the test of time. That soundtrack. The Big Chill, yes, and Superfly, of course. Got to get those funky beats in. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys out there are thinking of songs that should have been on, or soundtracks rather, that should have been on this list, drop it in the comments. Let me and Phoebe know all about it. Phoebe, thank you so much for joining in on all the fun this week.
Well, thank you for having me again.
All right, well, everybody, it's time for the Mojo Chat of the Week. Guess what? I had a chance to talk to some of the stars of the new Netflix movie, He's All That. We're kicking things off with Tanner Buchanan and Addison Rae. All right, He's All That. Guys, I got to tell you, I loved it. It's a movie that knows exactly what it is. And I had a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, listen, the cast is so much great. It looked like everyone was having a great time here. Tanner, did you have fun doing it?
Yeah, I had an incredible time doing it. I mean, everyone got along so well, and we all kind of just bonded, and we talked about, kind of like shooting in a pandemic, everything had to be way more intimate. So everybody knew everything that was going on with each other, and we really connected through all of that, and got to know each other very, very closely.
It showed. No, it was great chemistry, lots of fun. Addison, listen, you're no stranger to screens. We see you on our phones, our computers, our TVs. This is your first foray in feature film. How was that experience? Is this something you want to do again?
Oh, of course. I mean, I think this is just the beginning. And, I definitely, want to be a part of this forever. And since I was a little girl, this has been a dream come true, just to even, get to do something that I've loved and enjoyed my entire life. And also being able to work with so many people that I've seen on the screens before. And I know, and having Matthew and Rachael a part of this as they were in the original, it's really incredible. Just being able to really see how much my life has changed, and just I've been very, very lucky and very blessed.
Speaking of the original, 1999. Listen, I'll age myself. I was in high school. I love this movie. I was prom king that year. People said I looked a little like Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know. I don't even know if you guys were born. did you see the movie before getting the gig? Addison, start with you.
Yeah, I had seen the movie. My mom was a huge fan. I was not born until 2000, so a little bit after, but my mom was a huge fan. She was always like very into getting me to watch movies that she loved growing up. So that was one of them. I'd seen it lots of time before, and then also seen it lots of times before we started filming, just to kind of get into that perspective and get the essence of the original and be able to do the best I could to kind of imitate that in my role.
Tanner, you seem like a teen rom-com kind of guy.
How'd you know?
I am very much so. I actually, rom-coms and romantic movies are like one of my favorite things to watch. So I was born. I wasn't very old, but I was born when the original came out. And, I had watched the original multiple times growing up, and then obviously watched it actually multiple times before I started, because I wanted to make sure that I was going to do the character justice and make sure that both people are the fans of the original and, kind of the new age coming in to see this for the first time were both going to enjoy it.
All right, now let's check out Peyton Meyer and Myra Molloy. He's all that. I got to tell you, I had such a great time watching this movie. And not to age myself, but She's All That. Hey, that was my jam back in high school. People said I looked a little bit like Freddie Prinze Jr. I was actually prom king in my high school. But I had a great time going into this one. Now, I've been asking people because it seemed like a great time on set. This is a movie that knows what it is. It gets silly at times, gets a little sappy too. Peyton, what about you? Did you have a great time?
I had a blast. I mean, the whole cast together, everyone was, right out of COVID. So, I mean, being able to be on set with each other, obviously we were tested all the time and made really safe, which made us feel way better. But being able to be out with people our age and being able to do what we love, we just immediately clicked and just had so much fun and ran with it.
Myra, the teen rom-com genre. Why do people love it? Because I know people that love it. Like they're going to eat this one up. What do you think?
Yeah, I, as a teen rom-com romance connoisseur myself, I'm obsessed with it. I just think it's just like, as a hopeless romantic, I just really enjoy stories where you watch them and you just feel so happy watching it. You just like get to vicariously live through all the characters. And I think that's why people love them so much. They're feel-good movies about love, and love is the greatest thing of all. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite one?
Oh,
do you have
yeah.
a go-to?
Yeah, so my favorite rom-com since I was a kid has always been A Walk to Remember. I know that's a little dark, it's a little sad. The love is so strong, and I love. So yeah.
Peyton, going back to you, your character, man, you do all these crazy dance moves, and you're singing and you're flipping and you're was that hard to pull off?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not a dancer or a singer by any means.
No.
So being able to do that, I mean, I just let go. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to dive into this character and just go all the way in for it. And it was a blast. It was kind of enlightening, to be honest.
I think you have a second career, because I would buy your album based on your performance.
Let's go.
I would do it. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody should watch He's All That on Netflix. Guaranteed a great time. Thank you guys so much for your time today.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.
And finally, we have some returning stars from the original film, Rachael Leigh Cook and Matthew Lillard. Hey guys, and
Don't
listen.
mind if I start this interview off with the song "Kiss Me Underneath the Blue Moon." Something, and kiss me.
No joke. On my paper of questions, I had, how much of the words do you know to that
it.
song?
Kiss me.
Right?
He's at a strong 12%.
12%. Hey, listen, I got to tell you guys, I not to age myself, but She's All That. I was graduating high school. I was prom king. People said I kind of looked a little like Freddie Prinze Jr. in my high school days.
Yes, I could see that.
So that,
Totally. Just let me squint with one eye closed, and you look just like him.
Matthew.
I'm just saying, he's way better looking.
oh, okay. I'll take that.
Great.
I'll take that. So that movie, actually, I've seen it many times. So I was very intrigued with this one. Hey, listen, I had a lot of fun with this. This is a movie that knows what it is. But the big question is, you guys are from the original. Why come back? What was so important for you to return to this movie? Rachel, I'll start with you. What was it about this film that brought you back?
Sure. Well, I just really wanted to be of support to the new cast with this reimagining. I don't know. I didn't want to be asked about the movie from its release into perpetuity, just to just have people say like, well, what do you think of it? This, that, and the other. I wanted to be supportive in a very forward-facing way, and here we are.
Matthew, what brought you back?
I'm not really sure why I came back. I came back to work with Rachael. That's the only reason. No, I came back. Look, in both of our careers, this is a pivotal film in both of our careers.
I
And
should
so,
that.
no, your answer is perfect. I love your answer. But the idea that like it's I don't know, there's something sweet about looking back over 30 years and getting a chance to play in a film that you did so long ago. So it's like an homage to the young man I was when I made this movie.
Pretend you didn't say 30 years.
No, literally, I've been doing it 30 years.
Wow.
Rachel's only 28, so she doesn't understand what it means to be old.
We'll go with that.
That's great.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I think neither of us like mind being like the OGs on set, like being like
I like being
the old guard.
No,
Let me tell you, by the way, getting older, like, not bad. It really gets a bad rap when you're young. Turns out it's pretty great.
Yeah. It's especially on this, because I feel like everyone came to set from the production side, from the actors, with like a real sweet and earnest like respect for the film, like respect for us. I don't know. I just thought like it was a really humbling experience, to be honest.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and they all said they had a wonderful time, and a lot of them weren't even born when this movie came out, and they revisited. I know. I feel it too. Hey, thank you guys so much for your time today. We're all going to check out He's All That on Netflix.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Love that you're the prom king. That's amazing.
Well, that's going to do it for another episode, everybody. I once again want to thank Phoebe for joining in on all the fun. I want to thank everybody involved in He's All That for chatting with me, and you for watching and listening. If there's something you want us to chat about on the show, drop it in the comments. Till next time, I've been Mr. Hollywood. Poppin the Culture.